was like, whoa.
Welcome back to It Is What It Is. This episode is presented by Underdog. If you're new to Underdog, today's the day. Get $75 in bonus entries when you play just $5 with code It Is What It Is. So for the holiday season, Underdog Unwrapped is here, giving you tons of promos throughout the holidays. They're kicking things off with the boost for Jake Paul's big fight on Friday night. You can make your picks right now in most states, including Florida, Texas, and California, just to name a few. So make sure y'all support the show, hit that subscribe button, lock in your bonus, and start playing today with code It Is What It Is. I'm Treasure Wilson, aka Stat Baby, along with your hosts Mace and Cam, and today we are joined with our analyst Michael Irvin.
Hey, Mike, what's good, man?
Hey, man, it's all good, man. I'm quarter zipped and ready to zip, if you know what I mean. You see what I'm saying?
Quarter zip.
Quarter zip, ready to zip.
Here we go. Oh, man. Yo, Mike don't miss a step, boy. Mike know the trends and everything.
Quarter
zip.
OIN.
It's all
Yo, Mike,
good,
do you know
man.
that's a trend or you just saying that?
No. I know it's trending. I know it's popping right now.
You stay in the loop. You stay in that loop. Mike stay in the loop, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to stay right there with the young folks. That's what the advertisers pay for. You know that. They pay for the young folks. They don't, so you gotta stay right
What's
there.
that
with
slogan
It's
though,
all
real
good.
quick? Quarter zip and what?
I'm quarter zipped and ready to rip. Is what I did. What I'm saying
his
right
own.
now. You know what I'm saying?
Made your own, Mike.
Quarter zip and ready to rip. Yo, Mike, you gotta chill.
You gotta fuck with Mike. Yeah, you gotta love
Just
Mike,
it.
drop
it's
it,
too
dog.
early for that, Mike.
I like it.
No, listen though, it's so funny, man, because I was doing I do my little live stream on my podcast on my YouTube channel, and today, dog, let me tell you something, because on Wednesdays Wednesday nights I let the people ask me all kind of questions, any questions, and dude, they always bring up stuff from the show. So they asked me one day, they said, Michael, can you please show us what you were talking about that kept you at the bottom of the Hall of Fame when Terrell was on It Is What It Is talking about it? So I just happen to have that right here. I said, oh, you mean these things right here? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, Mike. Yeah, Mike. Let them niggas know, Mike.
Yeah.
Right, these things. I said, I need y'all to see what they look like so y'all know.
Oh, that's dancing
some
too.
jokers ain't got nailed.
Yeah.
Some ain't got nailed.
Yeah.
This is why I don't wear one, because I got too many to even pick out which one. It's like a child. Which one is your favorite children? You can't say that. I just leave them all.
Yo,
where
Mike,
I belong.
I love that. I love that. Yo, Mike, you know why I love that? I love that shit right there. Because I missed the show this week, and I saw the show I missed, and Mace tried to act like TITLETOWN comes within. That's TITLETOWN. I ain't none of that within. I don't want to hear that. That's what you got to have. The rings and things you sing about, bring them out.
Bring them out.
Yeah.
Pull them out. That's what I did. I pulled them out.
I'm saying things and rings you sing about, bring them out, man. I like that right there, man. TITLETOWN on the plate.
Yeah, Mike.
On display. We love to see it, Mike. Okay, so before we get into the football, there's just a viral clip that I got to ask y'all about because I'm sure y'all are just as confused as me. So after the Knicks won their NBA Cup, there's a video of Josh Hart sticking up his finger up Jalen Brunson's ass, and then he went on Twitter talking about this is AI. Y'all seen that and why? Question mark? Confusion? Understanding? Nothing? Mike?
Yeah, yeah, it is. It's pretty amazing. First of all, to even attempt anything like that, it really is. George Orwell wrote a book a long time ago, 19 called Big Brother. Big Brother's watching. Everybody's watching everything. Everything you do is on camera. I don't know what would provoke a man to put his finger or take his thumb and thumb somebody right up their ass on national TV when you're receiving a cup, a trophy. That blows my mind, man. And then try to deny it happened when everybody saw it. So yeah, especially with all the Diddy stuff out right now. So yeah, that's amazing right now that you would even run that route, I'm a big Josh Hart. I'm a big fan of his because I told you my boy, Fresh West. He's over there, president with president over there at the Knicks. So I go catch those games every year, and I'm gonna see him again, but I'm gonna make sure I don't turn my back to him. See what I'm saying?
I gotta watch his back. I gotta watch his back.
Yeah, Mike, you gotta watch your back with people like
You
that.
gotta talk to them niggas with the back against the wall. You're 100% correct.
Right, man. That's crazy, man. I don't know, man. That's just crazy.
Yeah, right after their win.
That's honestly, Josh Hart. That's when playing goes too far. Like somebody playing and it goes too far. It really could have been a fight on national TV for that, right? If he just turns around and just clock him, just for that. I don't know what Jalen Brunson was thinking, just to look and do nothing. That's like. Good thing he wasn't in jail or nothing. But nigga could do that. I don't know what else a nigga could do to you. You're not going to respond for that. I just lost all respect for Jalen Brunson after that. I'm not going to lie. I'm like, word? Come on. That was wild. And then he's laughing. Everybody else knows it. It was like an inside joke.
Hey, inside joke.
Yeah.
Literally.
What I take away from this is what I'm talking about when it comes to the Knicks. You win a championship, and this is what we're focused on. It never goes right. This is the talk of everything more than the actual championship. That this nigga stuck his thumb in his ass. That's what everybody's focused on. Knicks fans are so mad because they like, y'all focusing on the wrong thing. No, we didn't want to see it neither. You act like this is what we wanted to see. You won it, and no, it's not an NBA championship, but it's great the Knicks haven't won anything in over 50 years. I guess, being in New York, we'll take it, but this is what I'm talking about. When you're with the Knicks, it's not even a chance to celebrate. Immediately, asterisk is next to the championship because the thumb is in somebody's ass. Secondly, when May said, I think you got to think about this, right? They went to college together and all type of shit. I think this is how they play, pause. Because like May said, for you not to swing or you not to be that mad, this is how them niggas play. And if you look at the video, because I watched it a couple times because I was beyond belief. Josh Hart do the shit and just keep looking up and rubbing the trophy like he ain't do nothing. He just up there smiling, rubbing the trophy like nothing actually happened. And Jalen Brunson had to, you gonna do this now? We on TV, don't do it now. Like, that's how that's how I take it. Them niggas was sharing dorms and everything. It might be worse than what we seen. But I think that, it was a black eye on the gang doing that at the cup holding. You couldn't wait till you get in the line. He couldn't control himself. That's how I take it.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe that's the way they celebrate.
I knew people were going to do that. I knew people were going to do that. I knew they were going to do it because they're going to turn on Bronson with it. Like, I don't want you swinging on Josh Hart. but at least turn around and push him. Hey, man.
Yeah.
What's up, man? Don't do that. Right? Push him. Hey, don't do it. You know what I mean? So I don't want you to swing. I know you got to play with him and all of that. But at least push him and say, hey, don't do that. But if you just turn and look, the assumption nobody can say anything about, like, hey, man, are you comfortable with that? I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was. Yeah, and I'm a big Brunson's a bad boy.
Yeah.
That's a bad dude, man. That's one of the baddest dudes in the league.
Listen, Mike, you just said it. That's just not the phrase to say. Brunson's a bad boy with a thumb in his ass.
Yeah.
You gotta watch the words now.
Yeah, Mike, you gotta watch your words.
Yeah, I feel how you putting your words together, Mike.
Y'all crazy, man.
Is his father still a coach, or his dad's not the coach anymore?
He's still there. He's still on the bench.
Yeah, if I'm his dad and I see that, I might run over there and handle it for my son on that.
Nah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's not really, to me, it's not handling because they grown. It's like, I'm pulling them to the side, like, what kind of games y'all be playing? Nah, seriously, as a father, do you think that's cool? Seriously.
Yeah.
If you literally put your, like, all jokes out as a father and you sitting there and you see that, you be like, yo, on some real shit, it's like, what kind of games y'all niggas be playing, man? I will have that conversation with my son.
Yeah, just like for real, like has this ever happened before? You know.
Don't James, does he have kids? Does he have any kids? How many kids does he have? Because you know if you have a son, you coming home, he's looking at you like, Daddy.
Yeah.
What? That was a finger in your ass?
Yeah.
Daddy, well, you know what I mean? It's like, what's going? That's what I would be thinking about.
Listen,
like, come on, man.
And right, Mike, not just the kids. This opens up shit for future, like for the playoffs. Like, let's just say, for instance, you go to Milwaukee, and instead of them in the crowd having the big finger, they got the big.
They got the thumb. Brown thumb.
Brown.
You ain't never
with
lied.
brown on the tip. This opens the door for all type of marketing.
Y'all are crazy. Y'all are crazy. And just to clarify, Jalen Brunson, he has a daughter born in 2024, and then we know that Josh Hart has his twin son, so they're way too young to. But I mean, the internet lives forever, so they'll see the fit.
Light skin with a ponytail. That's not a good outing.
But hey, shout out to the Knicks. Okay, so time to get into some football. So the Dolphins decided to bench Tua and will start Quinn Ewers ahead of their matchup versus the Bengals. They will keep Zach Wilson at QB2. So Mike, do you think that this decision makes sense for the Dolphins at this point in the season?
Well, it's hard to say it makes sense, but it's what they think is best because you still owe him a lot of money. I mean, if you cut him right now, let him go, you're $100 million still on the cap.
Yes.
He guaranteed another, 30 million next year. You see, this was difficult. This was difficult because you saw some good years that Tua had, especially when Mike McDaniels first got there and they pieced that offense together. They brought Mike McDaniels in to piece together an offense that will fit Tua, and he did. But the NFL learns things very quickly, and you have to learn back. Once they learn what you do, then you have to go learn the next move, the next step, the next thing. And Tua's always been great when his first option has been open. But when they close that first option and they make you have to look around and scan that field and they put pressure around him, then things happen. And that's what has happened with them. And it's not only that. I mean, the money's one thing. They're also looking at, in 2020, we drafted you first, and we could have gotten Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert has his team right now over there at 10-4. And we're going south. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. That was, was it the right thing to do? I got to see what Quinn Ewers do before I say that was the right thing to do because you're hoping you're hoping he comes in and be a little better with the offense. What I think they're trying to see, is, Mike McDaniel, are we keeping you? You see, when you look at what Kyle Shanahan does. They run the same offense. What a Kyle Shanahan does with backup quarterbacks. You know, what they do in Minnesota, they bring in quarterbacks and, O'Connor, Sam Donald's, I hadn't gotten J.J. McCarthy going yet. But these coaches are supposed to be quarterback gurus. And now when they bench Tua, that puts Mike McDaniels right in the middle of the hot seat. Show me what you can do with the next quarterback, or we got a clean house. So I got to see how this thing plays out. Once you lost Tyreek Hill too, you lost your main point man, and Tua needs that point man. And without him, this thing, it does not look good at all.
Yes, when it comes to the Miami Dolphins and this decision to bench Tua, I think as much as we want to say they're looking into the next quarterback just to see what he does or see if they're going to keep Mike McDaniel, I think all of that is well and true. But when you look at the stats that Tua has had this year, he's almost equivalent in interceptions as he is in touchdowns. And when you're throwing as many picks as you're getting touchdown, it's just no way to keep you in the rotation. Pause. And not to mention that if he's a sack away from being retired anyway. So this is a place that they have to go at this point. When you're a city attractive as Miami, there's no way you could leave like substandard talent there and with someone that's not performing. The city is too lit. It's a place that everybody will love to live, everybody will love to play, and you just can't keep that spot occupied by somebody that's underperforming. Pause.
Yeah, well, Miami ain't been winning for a long time, so whatever, as far as that's concerned. But I do agree with you, Mason, on the point that, to me, this goes to one thing. And I think Mike is right, and make sure you're 100% right. Both of you guys are right. But me personally, you're right. They got rid of the GM Chris Greer, and it's on the coach
right
now. But I do agree with Mace. They're eliminated from the playoffs right now. You leave Tua in and he gets a concussion, niggas gonna be like, what the fuck are you doing? You might as well play the other quarterbacks to see what talent they got. We're not making the playoffs anyway. We're only a few weeks before the end of the season. And Tua gets hit the wrong way. Everybody like, what the hell is going on? Why would you do this? Yeah. Same thing we just seen with Jaden Daniels. Mm-hmm. This nigga's injured. I'm looking like a chicken wing coming off the field. And you put him back out there 2 weeks right after that for him to re-injure the same arm. And I know that they was trying to maybe make a playoff run, but it was unnecessary. The kid's 22, 23 years old. He's your franchise quarterback. Sit him out. I don't know what's going to happen with Tua moving forward in the future, but I would have definitely took him out too, considering his concussion history and the fact that they're not going to make the playoffs. And let's give these other quarterbacks a chance to see what they got. So I would have made the same decision.
So I'm curious on you guys' predictions for Tua in the future, because Mike brought up a great point. I do have the stats here for basically like the finance part of it. So he already has $54 million guaranteed to him in 2026. On March 15, $3 million of his 2027 salary becomes guaranteed, and then cutting him would leave $99 million in dead money. That's what Mike was saying earlier. So about just under $100 million in dead money. So do you think the Dolphins should consider cutting him in the future, or do you feel like at this point too much has been invested? We just kind of got to see what we can do with him, Mike?
Well, it's an interesting question from this standpoint. It's what are you trying to say? March 15, you owe him $3 million. That's on on his 27th year, not next year. That's 27. So are you going? I don't know if you can cut him right after the season and designate him a June 1st release. Or I don't know the rules in that way. Like, can you say, we're going to release you, we're going to release you so we don't have to pay you that $3 million on March 15th, but we'll cut you on June 1st, so less dead money will hit the cap? Or do you have to actually cut him, pay him the $3 million, and then release him June 1st, you lose $3 more million, but you take a lesser hit on the cap. And I'm gonna tell you this, and I don't know the rules and how that works out totally, but what they're looking at is what Denver's done. And Denver cut and let Russell Wilson go, and look how quick they turned back around. Now there's a difference here. Sean Payton was coming in Denver and he was reworking the whole system, the whole order. That when he got rid of Russell Wilson, because Russell Wilson and Sierra went over there and had their own office and did all that special stuff. And he said, "No, we're going to get rid of that." And he put a heavy hand upon Denver and gave them a whole new restructuring. Mike McDaniels is not that guy. So you hope that if I say, "Oh, I'm going to take this big hit, we can turn around and turn this thing around quickly." I think that's why I talked about they're going to see what Mike McDaniels can do with the Quinn Ewers and other quarterbacks, because all we've ever done is we only saw you with Tua as your man. Let me see how you work with other guys and if we can really make this work by getting rid of him and bringing somebody else in and try to get back where we need to be quickly.
Yes, when it come to Tua and his future, I think they're doing right by letting somebody else play. I would pay him out, definitely, and get him off of the team. I do my research, so and when it comes down to research, there's not even a good space for him on a fantasy football team right now. Right now, they're telling you don't take Tua, So when they start playing with your name in fantasy football, and I hope he turns this around, but that's all downhill from there. If nobody don't want you on a fantasy football team, that's crazy.
Bum ass niggas can have a good week in fantasy football. It's a fantasy, Mace.
That's what I'm saying.
It's called a fantasy, Mace.
So for them to not want you is even crazier.
The whack niggas can have great weeks on the fans. I'm not gonna agree with you on that one. But I'll be honest with you, Mike. You know better than me. Like, look, I can't sit here and tell how. That's a big. I give a lot of credit to whoever handles the financial department in all these sports, because you have to figure out how much space you have, who you want to pay, who you don't want to pay, to go over salary cap. I'm not even sure. I'm not even going to say a lie. I don't even know if football has a luxury tax like basketball. But I don't know. I have no idea, because we've seen signs where Tua could be good. And in Mike's first take, when you lose your number one, that matters. But listen, number one wasn't happy neither. He was pissed off. I don't know. It seems like if Miami last year, they were in a good place. They scored like 70 points one game last year, some shit. They was back-to-back scoring.
Against Denver.
Right. They looked like they were about to go places, and then that shit just all collapsed to how we seen last year, how Tyreek saying he wasn't happy. He didn't necessarily want to be there, and he put a picture of Antonio Brown on his avatar. Look, it was in a good spot, and it just seems like it went downhill really fast. So I would go off what you guys said, because I don't have any idea which they should do or what they shouldn't do, because what you don't want to happen is Tua goes somewhere else and he start cooking. You're always scared of that as well. Like, he isn't a bum. What he is we're scared of them concussions, and he didn't have a number one. You get rid of him and he goes somewhere else and start cooking, you be able to be like, damn, we had that nigga. I think, I know what I'm about to say is not a player, but I really, 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 really believe deep down inside that's why the Pittsburgh Steelers have not got rid of Mike Tomlin. You don't want to get rid of this nigga, and he goes somewhere next year and win the Super Bowl, and you be like, nah, we had this nigga, man. I really do believe that. I really do believe that's the only reason that Pittsburgh is not, because Mike Tomlin would be unemployed for, like I said before, 6 minutes if he ever parted ways with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah,
One of the things I've thought about here, though, guys, is Tua's record in cold weather. Not very good. He's like, just not very good at all. I don't know the exact record, but it's not very good. And when you think about the AFC East, you got to go to New England. You got to play at Buffalo. Those are tough places to win football games if your quarterback's arm is not that strong and the ball gets heavier and you can't throw. So I was just thinking about like Stat asked about what kind of future. He's a first round pick. Usually first round picks get other opportunities. But what opportunity out there works for Tua? Miami was a great place. At least you had 8, 9 games a year in pretty good weather. What cold weather team has a dome? So you can try to you got to try to work through all of those metrics when you're looking at a Tour. If you're another team, like okay, can he perform in this kind of situation? And as you start getting around the NFL, and like we're doing now in November, December, it's bad weather everywhere. It's bad weather everywhere, and that thing really affects Tua. So it'll be interesting to see what happens to Tua this year, and especially we don't know how many guys going to be out there. They could have a number of guys. You're going to have Tua running around with the opportunities. Kyler Murray out there because it looks like there's going to be a lot of changes made at the quarterback position this year. And you may see a lot of those once big time guys, some guys that got paid big time money, actually on the market.
Really quick before you go, Mace, just because I wanted to give the stats for that too. So below 40 degrees, Tua's 0-5. Below 45 degrees, he's 1-6. And below 50 degrees, he's 2-8. So that is to show you guys.
Yeah, you took my stat.
Oh.
And I was going to add that his average of depth on a target pause is went down two yards every year. Around 2022, he was at 9.6. 2023, he's at 7.6. 2024, he's at about 5.7. And every year it seems like he's declining in the average on targets because he's scared he's going to get hit. So I'm really thinking about that. And that's what I meant by when you think of fantasy football, you can't even add anything there.
Yeah. And then I think this brings a even bigger discussion and question before we move on, because we're seeing these quarterback contracts are only going to get bigger and bigger over the years, but then we're also seeing how there's also a risk there. So, Mike, do you think these massive quarterback contracts actually hurt teams more than they help their long-term stability, or do you just feel like, you know what, it's worth it because it's the quarterback? What's your thoughts on that?
If you make those decisions and give those players a contract because of, okay, we think, well, he had a good year. He had a good year. And now we're kind of in a situation. And I think that's what happened with Miami. We're in a situation. Do we play him even if we don't believe all the way in him, or do we let him go? And it becomes like what Cam said. If we do that, then he goes somewhere else. And now we look bad. We look bad. So they're not going to stop passing out big contracts because there's such a demand for the great ones. And if you have a great year, they're going to give you the money because they can't risk it. They can't risk it. But they have to make darn sure that this was not a 1 year or 2 year wonder, that you have to make sure that what we see is something that'll be that we're going to see for a while and continue growth, because Tua jumped out and had great seasons, had some pretty good seasons, but were those seasons his ceiling, and he's still right now early in his career? Can he get any better, or is that his ceiling? And that, you pay for a lot of time, you pay for potential. You have one good season, then you got to pay for the potential of him having these kind of seasons over the next 10 years. But everybody doesn't have that. That's what you have to be careful with. They're never going to stop paying the quarterback big money. You just better make sure that when you're paying him, he still has growth in him and he's not at his ceiling.
Yeah, I stand on what I said. Looking at next year, you're talking about $54 million guaranteed of that money, and not sure who's coming back with them. That's a lot. That's a lot to pay when you don't have a great offensive line, and you definitely don't have many wide receivers. I could think of a lot of ways you could spend that money better if you're trying to refurbish this team.
I don't think either one of them answered the question. Could you repeat it just so I can make
Yeah.
sure that
So do you think massive quarterback contracts hurt teams more than they help long-term
you
stability?
didn't ask anything about Tua. You
Yeah,
asked about,
just in general.
exactly. Yeah. Both of them went on a Tua tyrant, and that really wasn't the question.
No, I didn't know Mace. Cam, I did not, Cam. I said
Mace,
if it's the ceiling.
Mike.
If it's the
You both
ceiling,
said
Cam.
my name. I didn't say anything.
I said if it's the ceiling. I answered the question.
Mike,
You gotta
Mike.
only do it. You can't pay, like in the third year, you can't pay a man all of that money if he's already at his ceiling in his third year. And that's the year they determine if they're going to extend guys or not.
But that's
You
not
gotta
the
wait to
question,
see.
Mike.
Yeah.
Can we get back to the
She
question?
asked about the contract.
Mike
She
did
asked about the
answer it. He just used Tua as an
Thank you.
example, like
Thank
that,
you,
like
Shay.
that.
So then my answer was right then. If that's what
You
we're
also
saying.
used Tua
Yes,
as the
that's-
main example.
Thank you.
But Cam,
Cam
now we
trying
line
to spin
stepping.
us.
Now we
Listen.
are line stepping.
Yeah, so when it comes to the
It was my
quarterback,
go. It's just last up season.
I mean, if we're cleaning it up, go ahead, pause.
Go ahead, finish it.
Go ahead, no, you go.
That nigga mad at me because he lost stuff at me. It's crazy. That's wild. That's wild, nigga. You go. It was actually my everybody.
Nigga mad it ain't his go.
But look, the thing about this is that regardless of the example you guys use, whether it's true or not, Mike is right. You pay for potential, and then if the potential ain't there, you look crazy. We sit there and say, it was like maybe 2 years ago, and we're like, or at least I was like, I'm not gonna say we. I'm like, damn, they ready to give Trevor Lawrence all this motherfucking money, man. This is kind of crazy. I don't know if I give Trevor no 270 now. I don't know. And now he got them leading the division and looking like they're gonna make a push for the playoffs, and we'll see what happens. You know, we have a lot of young quarterbacks, or not young necessarily, new quarterbacks, I think, that'll be in the playoffs this year, or second year, or maybe third year. But it's not gonna be a lot of experience outside. You know, you have Matthew Stafford, you have Aaron Rodgers, you have Josh Allen. Who else we got here? Just looking from the list, I didn't even look. I don't even count Brock Purdy or Sam Darnold like that. But you're paying for potential. Mike is right, and I'm like y'all used to. I'll use Trevor Lawrence. I was like, I don't think you should get this nigga this chicken, but he's looking like he might deserve the chicken. These quarterback prices, you have one organization to blame, and they're the organization that looks the worst, the Cleveland Browns. When they gave Deshaun Watson that $230 million contract, I know every other owner in the fucking NFL was like, what the fuck are you doing? Because you're setting a precedent now to where quarterbacks are saying, yo, how the fuck he get this money? He ain't do half the shit that I did. I need 250, or I need 260, or I need at least two. You know, that's when we had the thing about with Lamar Jackson. When Lamar Jackson wasn't re-signing with Baltimore, it was because of what Deshaun Watson got. Then Deshaun Watson was hurt when he got the contract. So to me, these big NFL quarterback contracts, the Cleveland Browns set this off. They set the standard for what a quarterback should be making in this day and age. So that's just the standard because of them. But you do pay for potential. I agree with Mike on that.
So can you answer the question? Is it hurting? Is it hurting them or not?
I don't know. I don't have the answer for that. I do use Trevor Lawrence. So the answer to the question is I have no answer because I'm not sure. You use somebody as Trevor Lawrence and you'll say you shouldn't have gave him the money, but now look at him now. We don't leave room for growth. Pause. In sports, we want it now. Pause. We want answers today or tomorrow, and we not want to answer in 2-3 years when somebody might be 19 years old. You want him to produce when he's 20 years old. Think about me. Another example I use for me, Caleb Williams. I'm talking about his nails. I'm talking about his dog. I'm talking about he's not doing this. I'm talking about what he did at USC. And now week after week, he's looking decent. And he's going to be in the playoffs. And we gave him a hard time, but we didn't give him a chance. New coach, new offense he has to learn, et cetera, et cetera. So the answer to the question, I'm not sure, Mace. I have to see where it leads to because I'll say this, outside of Patrick Mahomes, I don't know who won the Super Bowl with the big contract.
That's a real good point. I'm thinking it hurts not only them, but it hurts the league because there's a lot of other players that could get paid, and people play better when they get paid as well, you know. But when you got the quarterback getting all of the money, you gotta buy Rolexes for the front line. I know that much. And when it comes down to it, in Tua's case, since we're using Tua as a model for this, if he doesn't play next year, let's say he retires, he's walking away with around 167 million. And to not play, that's gonna hurt the team for like at least 3 to 4 more years. So I would say it definitely hurts. And he'll get some money from the insurance plan. Mike, can you speak to that? The insurance plan that you get when you retire? It could save him like $250,000 or $500,000.
You mean insurance?
And if he gets hurt,
Insurance.
right? But
insurance when you retire.
if he gets
too?
hurt,
Yeah, they get.
if he gets hurt,
No. I'm just asking.
No, if he gets hurt, right? If he gets hurt, and that's probably why they're taking him off the field.
Yeah.
You know, I don't. Yeah, you'll get more liable if they want to let him go, and he's on the field now, and he gets hurt, then you can't let him go. You cannot release him while he's hurt. So they're just saying, let's take him off the field right now, and let's see what else we got. And they went to Quinn Ewers. They didn't go to Zach. They got Zach Taylor. The guy that was in New York. They have him as a backup, but they just moved him, kept him in this backup spot, and jumped him and said, let's find out what the young guy has, Quinn Ewers, and I'm looking for. What surprised me was also Mike McDaniels, who has been a Tua supporter, standing up there and saying right now, Quinn Ewers, give us the best chance to win. The best chance to win. He didn't say, we want to find out what this kid has. He said, he gives us the best chance to win. I took that as the hammer coming down on the nail in Tua's coffin. If that kid gives you the best chance to win, and that's what your head coach just said.
Yeah, and lastly, I'll say my last point anyway, is that football is America's #1 sport, period. But they get paid the least. When you sit here and you think about, yo, niggas getting $230, they like, oh, that's crazy, that's crazy. Basketball players out here getting $325, $350. Ain't no motherfucking salary cap in baseball whatsoever. Niggas out here get $500 million contracts. So, if you're just comparing athletes, when you sit there and say, I don't know who you would call Lamar Jackson in the NBA right now. Let's just say he was Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
Jason Tatum getting 324, 325, 340. Even though Jason Tatum won the championship, but I'm saying Lamar Jackson, a 2-time league MVP. These niggas get beat up every week and don't make the most money in the 3 major sports in America. And it's the #1 grossing sport in America. Good old owners, man. Niggas keeping that. They tucking that money, Mike. Your man is #1 too. Your man is #1. 10 billion.
Yeah. But right. But Cam, if you look at what matrix you measuring it by, if you measure total dollars, you are absolutely correct. Mm-hmm. But if you measure dollars per game, then football, because you only play 17 of those. Mm-hmm. You play 80 some basketball games and 162 baseball games or whatever that number is. So if you measure the metrics by per game, then it's a different situation.
No, I totally agree. But at the same time, you said it on this show, y'all, because of how rugged the sport is, y'all get low management every week. Pause.
Right.
Just because it's a rugged sport. You can't, even you hear players complain when they got a Sunday night game and then it's a Thursday night game. That's a short week for us. We had to recover fast. It's a very rugged sport, but that is a good point. If you're doing it by metrics and per game, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Great discussion, y'all. Okay, we're going to go to break. When we return, we will discuss the Rams versus the Seahawks.
She called this thing about toxic. 4 years and counting. Got you feeling like an option. Maybe I'm my own problem, babe. She tired of hearing I don't know. What's stubborn in me won't fall. Dealing with this thing called trust. But she really thinking about it. Wanna be free. Why am I in this woman? Wanna be free. Hell, I don't wanna see her walk away. I wish somebody told me the rules. Disagreements let her win, and it's cool. Even when I'm right, this ain't about you.
Welcome back. Now let's get into our underdog picks of the day. So tonight for Thursday night football, the Rams will play the Seahawks. Underdog has Matthew Stafford at 231.5 passing yards. Do you have him higher or lower, Mace?
Higher.
High.
Okay, Puka Nacua is at 91.5 receiving yards. Do you have him higher or lower, Cam?
High.
Definitely high.
And Sam Darnold's at 226.5 passing yards. Do you have him higher or lower, Mace?
Higher. This was easy, underdog.
I'm on low.
Okay, make sure y'all download the Underdog app and you can make your picks too. So we know the game is tonight. They're both at an 11-3 record. Mike, who do you think wins, the Rams or the Seahawks?
And this is a very difficult game to break down and analyze. When you look back at that Week 11 matchup where the Rams won in LA 21-19. You said, 21-19. That's 21-19. Sam Darnold threw 4 INTs in that game.
Yeah.
How is the game still that close? And he threw 4 interceptions in that game. So now you take this game to Seattle, and it's supposed to be rain. I just heard you guys and what your thoughts are, your picks are. Matthew Stafford had 130 yards in the comfort of his home against this Seattle defense, this top sacking, intercepting defense. He only had 130 yards. They've been talking all week. The Rams have, saying, well, we're expecting Devontae Adams to play. Stop lying. Stop lying, man. I just saw him pull up on the middle of a route where he had a touchdown. If he had anything left in them legs, he would have kept him going, caught that touchdown. He had to stop and drop and roll off the field because his hamstring gave out on him. No way 3 days later he going to show up and make plays. Now, Week 11, he only had 1 catch for 1 yard, but it was 1 touchdown. You see what I'm saying? This game here, it was hard for me to say, oh, man, because whoever wins this game is not just number one, not just number one in that division. You're number one in the whole conference, and you will have that first round bye right now. That's why this is going to be a hell of a game. I like the Rams, but I'm taking Seattle because it's in Seattle. It's supposed to be rainy there, and you don't have Devontae Adams. And I believe that defense in Seattle will show up. And last time you picked off Sam Darnold 4 times, and you only put 21 points on the board. You 14 in the first quarter, and you didn't score the rest of the game until the fourth quarter. So I'm going to take Seattle squeaking this game out in Seattle.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you, Mike. I'm going with Seattle as well. As much as I like Stafford to get busy in this game, like you said, because it's a conference game, I really got to go with Seattle. Maybe that's why I'm wearing the neon. I'm expecting them to win, but they're not gonna be the team that come out of the NFC. But we'll be okay with them having the best record for now.
I'm going with the Rams. And yeah, Mike, I was watching that game live when that happened to Deontay. I was like, damn. I was hoping it wasn't an Achilles. The way he just stopped running, I was like, yo. But when I heard hamstring, I was like, good. Because it's possibility, maybe not this game, like you said, you know better than me. they come back before the season's over, hopefully. Even if he's being a decoy, you know. Because him in the I don't know exactly, I can't remember the exact stat, but he in the red zone, he's crazy for the Rams in the red zone. But the way my man Puka Nacua is looking, listen, he's so good, I've memorized his name. That
We got there. That collab.
Yo, niggas when you start getting good, I start knowing his name. Puka Nacua is a problem, bro. And I know we talked about Cooper leaving, and that's a revenge game for him. He's up there in Seattle, and they say Seattle has the loudest stadium in the NFL. They call it the 12th man. But you're dealing with a veteran when you're talking about Matthew Stafford. What I predict is this: the ghost of Christmas past is coming to haunt Mr. Sam Darnold. He had this opportunity last year, same exact opportunity against the Detroit Lions. And he stunk it up. Division on the line, same record. The division was on the line. Blew about, $70-80 million behind that shit. Same record, division on the line, stunk it up. Start talking about when he's with the Jets, all type of shit that he did. And I predict that's what's going to happen to him again tomorrow. Now, am I wishing that on him? No. I'm just making a prediction. He has yet to show us in the big game that he's going to make a difference. And this is his opportunity to correct the differences that he didn't make. Because he looked tremendous. He's supposed to be in Minnesota right now with $120 million guaranteed or some crazy shit. But no, you're up there in Seattle and you got a chance to make right for your wrongs last year. But I'm still going with the Rams in this game.
And to your point, he leads the league in red zone targets and then also receiving touchdowns. So shout out to Devontae Adams.
Yeah, he's a problem in the red zone.
Okay, so we actually have a little story, not a story, but something on Puka Nacua. So he was on stream with Aiden Ross and Neon, and he says, the rest are the worst and make calls to get on TV. He said these guys are lawyers. They want to be on TV too. You don't think he's texting his friends in the group chat like, yo, you guys just saw me on Sunday Night Football? That wasn't pass interference, but I called it. He said these guys are normal human beings too. So, Mike, what do you think of Puka Nacua's comments on stream?
I thought it was interesting. I thought he was talking to a couple guys, didn't think it was going to become all of this, but it is going to become all of this. Like, Puka don't seem like them YNs, them young guys out there that just running his race. He just seemed like a real subdued, quiet guy that plays football and plays hard all the time. So I don't think, I wouldn't do it because, I'm buddying up with these refs. I don't want you when the thing gets close, because some of the time you can call this anyway. We are all on hand fighting for that ball. You can call offense or defensive pass interference. And now you just call these guys out, saying they're just trying to get on TV and show their friends they'll make the wrong call. I feel you. That's why I'm going with Seattle. I feel they're going to really get a chance to get on TV come Thursday night when they read what you just said, because that call that they make won't be for you this time. It will be against you, because they're people too. They're human too, and they hear stuff like this, and it affects them. I don't care who you are, what you say, it affects you. So that's kind of one of the reasons I went with Seattle in this game, even though I think it's going to be a close game. And I'm with you, Cam. I need to see Sam Darnold in a big spot play big. Mm-hmm. But I'm leaning more on the defense of Seattle than the quarterback in Seattle.
Yeah, that's a great point, Mike. I knew about it, but I didn't even take that into consideration about what you just said. And you have to take that in consideration. You don't make these comments when the playoffs are coming up and you're a wide receiver that could be grabbed, or it's a lot of times where they let shit slide, even if it is pass interference, or don't be on the opposite end and be on the offensive pass interference. Don't let that factor into the game tonight. I watched a special, I believe it's on Netflix, about referees and about how they would be shiesty with people. And this referee, he's a retired referee, and he was open and honest about it. He's like, Yeah, Iverson would give us shit, so we just, for 2 months, gave him shit. Wouldn't give him no calls, wouldn't give him anything. He'd get knocked down. We'll call fouls on him, so on. He said they got to the point where Allen Iverson walked up on him and said, yo, how long this going to last, man? How long is this going to go on? And we acted dumb. We acted like we didn't even know what he was talking about. We was like, what are you talking about? He said, you know what I'm talking about. He said, we had no idea what he's talking about. But they knew.
I remember that.
Yeah, and they said, but they said, we knew what he was talking about. So I'm like, yeah, 100% right. This may factor in to the game tonight, and not just tonight, moving forward. And then you're at a point where they're a coalition. Yo, I had Puka last week. You got him this week. You know what to do. I wouldn't listen. You got to be careful with what you say, my nigga. Yeah, that is a very good point.
I think now that they know that they're being watched and they're being clocked, like Stat would say, they got to do better because now the whole world is paying attention to this. The gig might be up. Who knows?
So I'm kind of curious because Puka specifically, I'm not going to say has gotten like heat because I don't think it's there yet, but like obviously like this happened on stream and talking about the refs, and then there was another incident where he was live streaming, and apparently they're not supposed to live stream post game in the locker room, and his teammates told him to turn it off, and he was like, I'm not streaming, and trying to like play it off. But we saw how basically with the situation with the refs, he was able to go on stream and kind of clear up how he felt. So Mike, what do you think is the appropriate balance of an athlete controlling their own narrative versus like the fans and the media establishing who they think they are? Because Puka might feel a certain way about it, but of course the media and these headlines are always going to have their kind of own stories about what they think or how they feel about it. What do you think that line is?
Right. But Puka has to understand, right? When you're winning and you're right now the top team in the NFC. So now just hey, you're doing what you need to do. You ain't got to put no gas in nobody's tank. Just keep doing what you're doing. You know, you're trying to go viral on a live stream. Them you helping those live streamers? You ain't helping your team. You know what I'm saying? So just, hey, tell them Duke Jokers, man, listen, man, I got to go out here and play. And when I go out there, I'll be tapping them reps on the ass. I ain't going to Josh Hart them, but I'm like, what's up, man? It's just a game today. Good game. You know what I'm saying? Good game. Good game, man. Let's have a good game. Because I used to, I know guys went to the refs and complained. Mike Irvin going to push. Mike Irvin going to do this. You know, they're already in their ear. So now they're watching. They're watching. They used to tell me, yeah, we talked to them before the game. Yeah, guys talked to us. We were watching you. So these guys got social media too. And they're going to be reading not just what Puka said, but Puka sets off a firestorm. Everybody on there bringing up all the times the ref made a bad call against their team. Yeah, I'm a this fan. And he did this here. Yeah, I thought the same thing, Puka. So now you done brought down Armageddon and hell on these guys. And they think the same, let me do the same back. I'm just, you know, if I lose a game, I'm going to lose the game on the play. I'm not messing with the refs because you can't, you know what I mean? You can't, and Cam just told you, they're human. They're human. They're human. They got people at home. They got kids at home saying, Dad, they call you this, and they say you do this, and all of those things, man. It does you no good. I'd rather you give me bulletin board material talking about the other team than I want you talking about the refs. And if I was playing with Puka, I'm going to say, hey, man, you got to hold that down. Don't be talking about the refs. Talk about other people, but don't talk about those refs. You know, and that's youth. That's youth. You got to, he'll understand that. He plays hard, and he's a great player. I mean, Puka's a great player, and he plays hard. I mean, give everything he has all the time. But that right there, I'll tell him not to do that.
Yeah, I think this is part of the reason, my personal opinion, Antonio Brown got exited out of Pittsburgh. Live streaming in the locker room. What are you doing?
Right.
Like, and AB's my man. You know, that's friend of the show plus my nigga. But you know what I realized, man, on some G shit, Mike? This, and not just young people. People can't control themselves when it comes to posting. You know how many bitches I would be still fucking if they wouldn't come to my house and stop and be posted? I cut a lot of hoes off. They can't control themselves. They get in there, so, look at this kitchen. Oh, we on the golf course. Yo, no, calm down. I got another joint that's going to be mad that you doing that. Now I got to cut you off. And then I tell you, stop posting, and you can't control yourself. Oh, I'm just posting my feet. They know that floor. That floor's original. You can't control yourself. This social media stream, people cannot control themselves. Yo, don't post this. Do not post where we at. I don't like people. I like people knowing where I'm at after I'm gone. We just walking through the airport. Yo, stop. Stop, yo. Stop. And people gonna see this, and because I never give an explanation. Now you know. Now you know why I don't hook up with you no more. And now you know why we haven't been hanging out and I still speak. You're not coming to visit ever again because you cannot stop posting. Calm down. I'm sorry I had to get my shit off through this conversation, but this needed, I've been waiting for opportunity to say this. Control yourself. It's a sickness. Right. It is a sickness. It's a sickness. Cam. It's a sickness. You know, you got people, right? You wake up in the middle of the night, you go to the bathroom, they can't even see. They go to the bathroom. What's going on Instagram? Before they got to be on there for the 4 minutes they wake up in the middle of the night. They sick, man. It's sick. And it's bad. Back to this situation. I'm sorry I had to tell my story real quick.
Wait. But before you move there, Cam, let me tell you, I got jokers that I work with sometimes. And I'll have them come in and meeting. And them jokers will try to have their phone right here in the pocket.
I hate that.
And the niggas shoot. I'm like, man, what are you doing, dog? and then I see it on his live or something. Right. Or I see it on his, his story. I said, man, what the hell are you doing, man, in my house? Come on, dude, stop.
Right.
What are you doing, dude? It ain't that serious.
Right.
The dudes know we know each other.
Right.
You ain't got to be sneaking in here. So now I'm watching you with hey, take the damn phone out your pocket,
right?
But leave it in the car if you're coming in here,
right?
You know what I mean? It's ridiculous,
right?
It really is ridiculous. Right. I'm like you. I don't want you to know until I'm gone,
right?
That's I don't post nothing. I tell anybody I take pictures with. If you post this tomorrow,
right?
And say, look at who I ran into after dinner.
Right.
Don't tell nobody where we were at. Just look, I ran after dinner. I don't care where we could be.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
You don't want nobody
pulling. Really.
You don't want nobody
we
pulling
can
up on
really
you?
Be at dinner.
Right, absolutely, 100%.
Or I always say this though. I say, what is dinner? We could be at dinner eating food fried in a pan, or we could be someplace at dinner that food made by God's hand. You know, you put a little terminology right there. You know what I'm saying? But all you need to say is after dinner. That's all you need to say. You know what I mean?
You're 100% right, man. So yeah, I hate that one. I hate to act like they just doing something. But you could tell when they taping you act, because when you're on the phone, you're more like this. You're not like this on the phone. You can tell you're not at a 90-degree angle. You're more at a 60-degree angle when you're on the phone. Just my opinion. But I understand it now. I didn't understand it back in the days. And this might have been like when iPhones first came out, or maybe just a little bit before. And I used to go to her house with my friends, and everybody except for me, she's like, Cam, they have to sign a non-disclosure before they get in. And I was like, yo, you bougie as shit, this, that, and third. Because we used to talk to each other. But now I get it. When I used to bring my niggas over to Mariah Carey house, you have to sign a non. You went with me there before, Pete? Yeah, you got to sign a non-disclosure. She had to at her front door, and you sign paperwork before you come in the house. You ain't gonna steal no Emmy, no fucking Academy or no Grammy out of here and all type of shit. You ain't gonna be in here taping nobody and nothing. We got your paperwork. We need all. I used to be like, yo, you tripping? Nah, I get it. When you're that statue, I get it, 100%. But back to the last topic we was talking about. I just had to throw my stories in there. Is this down the line? You know, he didn't get fined for this yet, but this is the shit we seen a few weeks ago with Dylan Gabriel's girlfriend. Yo, everybody wants Dylan Gabriel to play, tweeting. Yo, even your family has to be careful. People are watching everything. You have to, your family has to be careful. You have to be careful because it could cost you what somebody else says that's close to you. We got to get control over this. And I think my man PT, who's in the building tonight, made a great point. It's a sickness. It's bad. And it doesn't look like it's going backwards. That's why you have to surround yourself with people who can understand that everything's not a photo op. I went to what is it, Bruno Mars concert, and they lock your phones up. You go on this shit, it's some type of technology now. You put your phone in the bag, they tie it up, and you don't have a phone in the arena whatsoever. You get your phone on the way out. Dave Chappelle comedy shows, Kevin Hart comedy shows, they tie niggas' phones up now to where you won't be able to tape them.
And it's honestly better that way because people do too much. Like, I've literally had friends where, like, I would stop hanging out with them because we would go certain places, and it's like your record, especially when the flash accidentally turns on. I'm like, you cannot come with me because you're sitting here trying to make a headline or like trying to like brag about where you're at. And there are certain things that just don't need to be televised or posted. And especially when you get to tagging people, like, it's just too much. So it's like, you either understand it or you don't. And if you don't understand it, sometimes you're just going to get left. And then in the sports aspect, it's like certain things are supposed to be private on purpose, not just for you. Even if you don't care, it's to protect the people that you're around. And I just feel like that's an understanding that people just have to respect. Whether you want to do that or not, the people around you are also important people. You cannot just be recording and posting and like sharing like private conversation, especially like in the locker room, things like that after a win. Like, those are private for a reason. And it's just, everybody want to post everything and everybody want to go viral and everybody wants a moment. And why? Let's just vibe. It doesn't have to be a moment, but people don't understand that. So, but shout out to Puka Nacua. Hopefully the media stuff because they've been kind of getting on him a lot. And then, when these type of situations happen, that's the type for the headlines to be like, well, if he wasn't doing this, this wouldn't have happened. And you don't even want that blame or distraction on you. So hopefully they figure it out. But with that being said, that is all the time that we have for today. Mike, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show.
Right here. Leave with that thought right there. Because that's what we're about to go for in College Station. I'm talking about Miami. The Cowboys.
We know that.
We talking about.
You know what it is.
Right,
you know what it is. Literally.
That you down, and and you guys know, I gotta be at that fight Friday night. Who's working with Netflix? But
me too, Mike. Mike, I'll be there too. I did the face-off for the fight.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be out there. I'll get there Friday morning and get in that fight. That's gonna be good.
Also, real quick, Mike. If you haven't seen it yet, I did the face-off for Anthony Joshua, Jake Paul. Make sure you go onto YouTube and watch it right now. And the fight is going to be December 19th, Friday, like Mike said, in Miami. I was supposed to say that yesterday. I'm saying it today as well. But make sure you go to YouTube and check out the face-off between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua. Sorry, Mike, I didn't mean to interrupt, but it's good that we're going to be together Friday.
Yeah. And I love, Ken, I love that I love seeing you in that stuff, man, and seeing you out. You were telling me one time, like, how I get out and be at places. Because I think that's important. We talk sports. You want to be, you're bringing people that ain't got a chance to be there, firsthand experience. You went with, as opposed to just watching it all the time.
Right.
Showing up gives you a different perspective and help you do your job when you get a chance to go to those places. So that's why I love going to them. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you there, buddy, and appreciate you guys, man.
Yep.
All right, guys.
Of course. Thank y'all for watching. And as always, it is what it is.